What is it like being a Cuban living in Jamaica? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com, and today I speak to Rachel Martinez, a Cuban living in Jamaica. Hi, Rachel, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm very well. Thank you, Xavier, for having me. It's my
Oh,
pleasure.
no, thank you, thank you. So, tell us a little bit about where you're from in Cuba.
Well, I'm from Havana, the main city. I was born there back in 1989. Oh God, I sound old now. But yes, I'm from Havana.
So I've been to Havana, but tell us of some of the things that if I go to Havana, or somebody goes to Havana, you must see this or you must do this.
I mean, just like in any country, you have your attractions that the tourists always go. So the capital that was built similar to the one in Washington, I know it's one of the places that tourists always go. Old Havana, because it's like being stuck in time where you're walking the streets. It's like being back, like 2 centuries at least. And I know tourists very enjoy very much that experience of going back in time and seeing the architecture of how it used to be back in the days and so forth.
And old cars.
And all cars, like for tourists, it's an attraction, but for us living there is our main way of transportation, basically.
Yeah, I've seen some videos of how ingenious these guys are to repurpose parts to keep these cars going. Amazing stuff.
Let me tell you something funny. When you're in Cuba, like the old cars are so old that you literally have to slam the door for the door to close properly, like literally with all your strength. And then when I have friends and family from Cuba over here, like the way they slam my door, and I'm like, lady or gentleman, this is we're not in Cuba. You just gently close the car door. You don't have to slam it like that.
Amazing. So tell us, how long have you been in Jamaica?
Well, I've been living here for 7 years. I came in 2016, January. So
Okay.
7 years strong.
So, what do you love about Jamaica?
I love the food. I love the freedom of just being me and doing whatever I like and knowing that I feel like there is no limits as in for professional growth. I know that there's lots of Jamaicans that migrate overseas because they feel like they cannot reach their maximum potential here in the island. But for me, honestly, I don't feel that way. I feel free to do whatever I want. I just have to put the work in.
All right. So, on the flip side of that, what do you like the least about living in Jamaica?
The least that I like is the aggressiveness of the people, some people, right? I believe the culture is a little bit more aggressive than us Latin Americans. We're a little more on the softer side. Jamaicans are more rough, upfront, brutal, honest with their opinions. So that's I would say I'm not sure if even say if that's what I like the least, but what I struggled more when I came over.
Okay. All right. So, in terms of the people itself, the food. What's the favorite food that you like? Because you mentioned you love the food.
I do love the food. Funny enough, the food that I love is not something that I would say I cannot have it in Cuba, but the seasoning is just different over here. So I love just having my rice and peas with fried chicken and pasta on the side. And then my chicken gravy on top of my rice and peas. Oh Lord, my mouth is watering.
And you said rice and peas instead of the other way where they said beans and rice, right? You make sure you know
Right.
it.
Yes. Make sure I kept the Jamaican term because we eat it differently
Right.
over there. Yeah.
Did you have, I know you talked a little bit about, how we are upfront. Jamaicans are upfront. They tell you things just as is. Any other cultural experiences or differences that you kind of came upon that you found interesting?
Funny enough, kissing in the sheets. It looks simple, but I remember when I just came to Jamaica, I would try to kiss everybody on the sheets, and I realized that here that's something that people do like with really good friends they love. They don't do it with just any stranger. So I had to also try of adjust to that, because just like you say hello for us back in Cuba, we say hello and kiss in the sheets. It doesn't matter if you know the person from before or not. So when I
Right.
came out, I would be trying to kiss everybody in the sheet, and people were like, "No."
it's funny because yeah, I know, it's strange when people come and they get huggy and kissy, and and it's something you get used to. Living in like in an American culture, you kind of get used to it. But I know, yes, definitely. So what do you absolutely, when you have a day off or whatever, and you're saying the weekend is here in what do you go out and do? What do you absolutely love doing?
Well, I love, spending time with my family. I do enjoy Jamaican nature overall, like going to the river or going to the beach and having some nice lunch, in the river or the beach is something that really relaxes me. So I would say that's one of the things that I love the most doing about here in Jamaica.
Okay. So is there a favorite beach in Jamaica you like going to?
I mean, all the North Coast beach are good for me. I do not like the ones in Portmore and so forth, but the ones in the North Coast, I love them all.
Well, the Fort Clarence Beach, they have kind of fixed that one up. I don't know if you've been. I was there last year. Yeah. And it seemed fixed up. I know Helsha. I am from Portmore, so
Oh,
Portmore is near and dear to me. And
and the ones
and
in Portland are very nice, actually.
yes, yes, Portland is very nice. The Portmore Beach and Helsha Beach that has just disappeared hurts my heart, because growing up, that was the beach in Kingston. That was the beach everybody went to. So yeah, I know. So how do you manage driving? Adjusting to driving in Jamaica. And did you drive in Cuba?
No, I learned to drive here in Jamaica, so I believe it's easy for me. I'm used to it. Like when my family comes to visit and friends, the first thing they notice is that our roads here in Jamaica, they are like kind of, they are not straight going. So they always notice that. They always amaze how we can drive in the hills and not get, killed or something. They're like, but Walan, how can you drive like that? What about if we just fail or fall, down the cliff or something? I'm like, no man, you good. And then yeah, the taxi man in the road, you get used to that, the craziness, people drive like crazy in Kingston and all of that. But I learned here, so I know the tricks to drive around.
All right. So I don't drive. I don't drive in Kingston. That is crazy driving. So I'll come talk to you. You learn there. You're expert.
But you know where it's worse? In Montego, actually, when I went to Montego, I was like, oh Lord, no, thank you for Kingston. How they call it, Montegobians?
Mobe, Mobe.
Well,
That's
people
an
in Mobe, they
oh,
just drive like crazy.
yes, yeah. The two big cities. I guess it's all a crazy driving there that happens. So, what would you say was one of the big adjustments to when you first got there, and one of the biggest adjustments that you had to make to living in Jamaica?
One of the biggest adjustments I had to make was realizing that I was here by myself, meaning that of course, I had family, but it's the when you come from a communist country, right? You have in your mind somehow that the government owes you something or that life owes you something. So when you actually go out from that system, in my case, coming here to Jamaica, you realize that nobody owes you a thing, and whatever thing you want in life, you have to work for it and you have to earn it. So that was
Awesome.
my biggest realization.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Raquel, thank you for spending a few minutes with us. I'm winding things down. Have you left Jamaica, traveled to another country? And if you have, what did you find yourself missing when you say I miss Jamaica? What were you missing?
Well, for me, well, I've been in Cayman, but I just feel like the other Caribbean islands, well, English speaking Caribbean islands are very similar to Jamaica overall. I do want to travel to America. We're working on our visa to see how soon we can get it. But whenever I go to back to Cuba, right, which is my homeland, I miss Jamaica right away. And this is the most strangest thing that has happened to me. It's like Jamaica is now my home, and I go back to it's funny, because when I'm in Jamaica, I miss stuff about Cuba, and I'm like, all right, so when I'm coming back, I want to see my friends. But when I'm over there, 3 days maximum, I want to go back to Jamaica. What I'm missing exactly, I don't know. I believe it's just that feeling of being home, the experience of being in Jamaica. I don't know how to describe it, but it makes me kind of homesick when I'm away.
The vibe.
The vibe.
Yeah, although I'll say this, in Havana, when I went there, there seems to be, there were music. I heard music on, like be passing, and it kind of reminded me, Jamaica, there's always music somewhere, you know,
That's
and
true. That's
yeah,
true.
yeah. So that vibe of the music, I've been to other Caribbean islands and it's kind of quiet. So any final thoughts or words or any words of advice for any expats that are thinking of moving to Jamaica?
Well, it's just the same advice I would give to any immigrants, migrating to another country. Just forget how you were. I was a lawyer back in Cuba, and then coming here, I had to reinvent myself and become a human resources manager, right? So just forget what you were in your country professionally, your culture, and it's almost as you're a newborn, right?
Okay.
Leave those beliefs behind and come with an open mind ready to adapt to the new culture.
All right. Good advice. Good advice. Newborn. I love that. So here is my last question. Is there a Jamaican expression that you absolutely love and maybe you even find yourself using it?
And I use lots of them. I use yaman every day for no reason. I say yaman. The foolishness, I mean, that's a word that I never used before, even heard, and then here I foolishness a lot because I believe it gives it like a Jamaican context. Like when you say foolishness outside of Jamaica, it's not the same as saying foolishness. It's a strong word, or calling somebody dunce. It's I feel like it's an English word, but it's very Jamaican. It has a little more than just calling somebody foolish. Um, a feeding problem, a feeding problem. That's something that I use a lot as well. Um, me no
All right.
no, like
No,
it's
no.
another one that I use a lot. Yeah.
All right. Foolishness. I realize I use it, and now that you say it, I realize we use it. We use that word a lot. Raquel, thank you again. And I love what you said. Coming to a new country, look at it as a newborn. Um, Listen, as we say in Jamaica, little more.
Little more, right? Later. Take care. Bye bye.
Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.